Just a few minutes to spare today. That's all you'll need to make this cucumber slush. It's not too sweet like what you'd get from a vending machine, and there's no artificial color. The color comes just from the color of the cucumbers. You'll need about 300 grams of cucumber. Now in India, we find these pale skin cucumbers very easily, so I'm going to leave the skin on. If you do end up finding a darker skinned cucumber, it's not really a problem. All you have to do is just peel it partially in alternate stripes. Otherwise, you will end up with a very bitter tasting cucumber slush, and that's not a good thing. This is just my kind of easy cooking slash drink making, because you don't need to cut the cucumber perfectly. Just get the ends off and just roughly chop it, because we're going to blend it in a food processor. I'm using a food processor, but if you have a really powerful blender, you can just use that. That's perfectly fine too. We'll need the juice of just 1 lemon. I'm going to keep that ready. I've got my food processor ready with the sharpest blade. The cucumbers are the first to go into the food processor. 1/3 cup, or about 90 grams of honey. I love using honey as a sweetener instead of sugar. I'm not sure if you can use maple syrup here, but if you want to experiment and try that, tell me how it turns out. I'm just going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of flaky sea salt. If you don't have sea salt, you can just go with regular table salt. I'm just being a little fancy today. The juice of 1 lemon, freshly squeezed. 1/2 cup of chilled water. I'm being a little particular about measurements because you don't want a slush that's either too icy or too thick. You want the consistency to be just right. 2 cups of ice. This is the last thing to add, otherwise it'll just keep melting into everything else that we've put in the food processor. Then it's just a quick blend. I'm blending this till the ice is completely crushed and there are no bits of honey floating around in the food processor. Now you can just give it a quick taste just to see if you want to add any more lemon juice. I think it's turned out really well. I'm pouring the cucumber slush into this jug, and there's just one little thing left to do. It's the frothy texture. Going to stir in some mint leaves. This is the only thing in the recipe that I don't have precise measurements for. Just go for a few leaves, not too much. And just stir it in. This cucumber slush is the perfect drink for a hot summer day. And the best thing is that you can make it and store it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. You can serve it as it is if you're giving it to children. But if you have a party, you can add some gin, vodka, or even some white rum to it. Cheers!
Today I'm going to make something that's a bit of a summer cooler. As the summers are coming into India right now, it's getting very, very hot. So rather than drinking just, a glass of fizzy pop or some plain juice, I'm going to make something that's called Mango Jaljeera. Am is mango, jal means water, and jeera, as most of you might know by now, is cumin. Now, for this recipe, I'm using raw mangoes. Keep a pressure cooker handy because you're going to need it. First of all, let me peel my other mango. Keep it as tight to the skin as you can. And this one is slightly soft, which is just what I want. Obviously discard the little baby seed. Pop that in there. Just rough chop. Right, pop those in. Now into this, I'm going to add a bit of water, about a cup. Put my lid on. and I'm going to pop it onto this side. And that's only going to need one whistle. So while my mangoes are cooking away, I'm going to heat up a clean pan and dry roast some cumin seeds. Hob on, let that get hot. Got about a teaspoon of cumin seeds. Watch them so they don't burn. So they should go a nice brown colour, a slightly darker colour than they normally are. And you can smell the lovely earthy fragrance of the cumin. This should take about 2 minutes. So my cumin seeds have roasted nicely, and I'm going to pop them into my mortar and pestle. Give them a little pounding. Just needs to be roughly pound. So my cumin is nicely pounded, so let me check my mangoes. Ah, lovely. That's exactly what you want. If you don't have a pressure cooker, which I'd be very disappointed if you haven't invested in one already, you can always cook the mangoes in a pan, cook them until they're really soft. So I'm going to pour the mango with the water, because that's got flavour, straight into my jug. Now be careful as it's hot. Pop it all in. Put a few cubes of ice in there. My lovely fragrant cumin, just a little, maybe like half a teaspoon or so. Some sugar, add sugar according to your own personal taste. I'm going to put in about a teaspoon. Now here's a very interesting ingredient. This is called black salt. It's quite strong in flavour and smell, but added to anything savoury, it just transforms the dish. So I'm going to add about half a teaspoon and some mint leaves. Pop those in. Now a little bit more water, maybe just half. Give it a little stir. And now we just blitz. There you have it. Let's give it a quick taste. Check for seasoning. Oh, it's tart, slightly sweet, and that flavour of that black salt is delicious. That's a great drink. Lovely. Add a bit of ice to that. And that lovely roasted cumin. A little sprig of mint.
I'm going to make a minty cold coffee. So I have this tall glass of minty cold coffee for me. Now let's go make one for you. Firstly, take 250 ml of water in a saucepan. In it, we'll put a handful of mint leaves. We are doing this so that we get a nice minty flavor. Now while our mint water is boiling, let's make the cold coffee mixture. I've taken a big tall glass. I'll be adding 50 ml of cold water in it and around 4 teaspoons of instant coffee powder. Just give it a stir. Our cold coffee mixture is ready. Let's check on the mint water. What a lovely aroma. So the water is perfectly boiled and ready to be poured into our glass. Now let's strain it into the glass. Next, we'll add in sugar. I've taken 4 tablespoons of sugar, but depending on your taste, you can either reduce it or increase it. Give it a quick stir. Once the sugar is dissolved, we'll add in milk. I've taken 100 ml of milk which has been boiled and then cooled down to room temperature. Give it a quick stir. Now this will go in the refrigerator for chilling. Our minty cold coffee is nice and chilled. Let's add in some ice cubes in it and garnish with mint leaves. So our minty cold coffee is ready to drink. Do try this twist in your normal cold coffee.
Today I'm going to make something traditionally Punjabi, associated with all us Punjabis and Sardars around the world. Lassi. Let me show you how. Super quick, super refreshing, very easy. Right, here I have some yogurt. Plain yogurt. Pop that into your blender. Some sugar. A pinch of salt, maybe a pinch more, and some ice. A little bit of ice, just to keep it cool, and a little bit of water, but you can add a little bit more later. Give it a blitz. Now I'll just taste to make sure it's perfectly fine. Reminds me of the good old Punjab, the beautiful green kit, me running through with my dupatta. That's a story for another day. Let's pour this and enjoy. Get my traditional little glass, pour it from a height. That's how you pour it. That's how we roll in the Punjab. Now, what I will do, this is an optional extra, just a little sprinkling of cardamom powder, just to give it a little flavour. And there you have it. This is basic. And there you have it. Traditional lassi as they drink it in the Punjab. This is what I say. Oh, cheers, oi! Oh, bale, bale. So today I'm going to make a delicious, refreshing Kesar mango lassi. Now Kesar is saffron, for those of you who don't know. Peel my mangoes. So this is a really messy job and my mango cutting skills aren't great. I'm going to do my best, chop this bad boy in here. So I've popped my mangoes, they're in my blender. You can use any mangoes you can get hold of. The most important thing is they've got to be juicy and ripe. Now for my yogurt. Plain yogurt, pour that in. Oh, and on my face. I'm going to add some sugar, not a lot because my mangoes are very sweet. Just a bit, I'll always add more later. So here I've got some saffron strands which I've been soaking in hot water for about 5 minutes, just so they can release their lovely golden colour. Pour that in. This will give a nice little flavour and a nice little colour. And a pinch of cardamom powder. And this really brings out the flavour of the mango and the saffron. I'm going to add some. Have it as thin or as thick as you like. I'm going to add just about that much for now. And then, lid on. Lovely mango lassi. I'm going to show you the consistency. There, look at that lovely yellow sunshine from the mango. I'm going to sprinkle that with just a little bit more of my cardamom powder. And just a couple of saffron strands, just to remind you that there is some saffron in there. So there you go guys, my delicious Kesar mango lassi. The season of mangoes is here at the moment, so do try it wherever you are, but make sure they're juicy and ripe. Enjoy.